Hello everyone, this is Daniel and Kelly with fitnessblender.com, and today we're going to be taking you through a lower body specific Pilates routine.
So we haven't included a warm-up, so you're going to want to make sure that you do one of those on your own. Otherwise, we're going to be doing 40 seconds on, 10 seconds rest, and we'll be targeting the legs. You don't need any equipment, just an optional exercise mat.
So, if you already have your exercise mat out, let's go ahead and get started. You ready?
Yep.
Stand up. You're not supposed to be going down.
See, I told you, I thought I was going to be able to lay there.
So get those feet moving for just a second. We're going to go into a roll down toe touch. So get those feet just about hip width apart. Hands over your head, slowly go down towards those toes. Stretch down towards those toes, and then right back up nice and slow again. Rolling that vertebrae up one at a time. Nice big full deep breath in. Exhale back down, rolling those shoulders over. Stretching down towards those toes. Nice and slow back up. Got about 10 seconds left of this. Nice deep breath in. Exhale back down last time. And stand back up. So our next one is going to be a front leg raise. So we're going to be only doing this one leg at a time. We have a few more standing up before you can lay down, so hold on there. So nice and slow, one leg, you're just going to stretch down towards that toe, slowly bring it back, try to balance as best you can. If you need to, grab the back of a chair, a countertop, something like that if you need a little extra help for balance. But try to do this just standing without anything if you can. So nice, slow, controlled motion. Squeeze that leg up using that hip flexor, reaching down towards that foot with that opposite hand.
15 seconds.
If you can, try to let that foot actually touch back down each time. Keep it constantly hovering.
5 seconds.
All right, short little break. We're going to start the same thing again on the opposite leg this time. So try to center yourself. Try to get your balance set nice and solid. Other leg up. Nice and slow. Bring it up. Reach down with that opposite hand from foot. Stretch it back just slightly. Right back up again. So try to keep that leg as straight as you can. Try not to let that knee bend. It's not so much about actually touching your toe as it is bringing that leg up nice and straight. Keep it going. Keep those lungs open. And again, nice, slow, controlled movements.
So if you want to make any of these moves harder, you can add ankle weights. That'll step up the challenge quite a lot.
Yes. All right, let that relax. We are going to be doing a side leg raise next. So start back over with that original leg, kind of balancing on that opposite side. You're going to bring that leg up and out to the side with a little tiny bit of a crunch down towards that leg. So you're trying not to lean away from that leg and let your hips do all the motion. You're trying to force those hips to stay sideways or stay level with the ground as you lift that leg. As you can see, Kelly's kind of stepped off the mat a little bit. That's a little bit easier for balance if you have a full solid surface. So if you're standing on a really thick mat and you're having a little trouble for balance, step off of it for just a second.
You can always hold on to something too. Do your best to use your balance. It uses a lot more core work if you're not using something for support, but if you do need help, you can always do that. Even just for peace of mind, like having it nearby so you know you're not going to fall over. Yeah,
even if you're not literally touching it. Go and start up on the other side. Even if you're not literally touching it, even if you have your hand just kind of hovering over top of it, a lot of times the knowing that it's there for you can actually help you balance a little bit more solidly.
It's a mind game too, balance.
Yeah. The slower you move, the harder it's going to be for those muscles, but the easier it's going to be for overall balance. So if you really focus on control and moving through that range of motion nice and slow, then you'll find it's easier to stay nice and solid. All right, go ahead and let that relax. We have walk downs next. So feet just about shoulder width apart. And you're going to walk out on that mat just all the way out to a full push-up position. And nice and slow, walk it right back up again. It's our last one before you get to lay down.
Yeah, I know that was my condition under which I was going to film today. Wait, I get to lay down? It's a mat workout? I feel like I've been kind of duped right now. I'm going to file a complaint with headquarters, and it'll probably end up on my own desk. So.
Alright, just a few more seconds. Alright, next one is going to be laying down. We're doing a heel tap next, so laying flat down on your stomach. So you're going to walk out flat, bring those heels up, elbows tucked to your sides. You're going to tap those heels together twice, stretch them apart. So it's exhale, exhale as they tap, inhale as you pull those legs apart. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Just nice, slow, controlled motions at first. If you start feeling like you have a little bit more control over it, start working on a little bit wider range of motion with those legs, a little bit faster kick. Exhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, exhale, inhale.
5 seconds.
All right, slowly let those legs drop down. Stay in the same exact position. You're going to hover that chest just slightly. Keep those legs nice and straight, and you're going to try to lift them up off the ground, just straight up. Slowly back down, little bit of a hover, and then right back up again.
Really focus on squeezing. Really, make sure you're not resting on the ground either. Come here and just barely hover. Keep those muscles all nice and tight, and then slowly drop back up again. Squeezing those muscles the entire time. You should feel it in your glutes and your lower back and the backs of your thighs. A little bit in your upper body too if you're pulling that chest up off the mat at all.
You might even feel it a little bit in your quadriceps, the front of that thigh, from keeping that leg nice and straight. Alright, let those legs drop down. We're going to do a similar motion next. Same position, but instead of keeping those legs completely straight, you're going to curl those heels in towards your butt. So a little bit of hover with those knees. Curl those heels in as tight as you can, but try to let your your knees actually completely touch down and extend them right back out. So it's going to be inhale and exhale. If you can't get those thighs up off the ground, that is perfectly fine. It's not necessarily about the range of motion, it's more about trying to contract those legs. So constantly feel like you're trying to pull those legs up, and that's all you need to do to get that muscle to contract. And let that relax. All right, next one, we are going to be doing an imprint. So you're laying flat on your back. Lost my place on there.
You there?
Going a little brain dead. So, back flat on the ground, 90-degree angle on that knee. Inhale up, arch that back up really nice and high. Exhale down, roll those hips in. Really press all of your weight into that lower back and suck that belly button in nice and tight. Again, inhale, arch that back up, let everything relax, roll those hips away. And exhale, suck that belly button in, roll those hips in, press that lower back flat against that mat, push as much of your body weight into that lower back as you can. Just keep it going, alternating back and forth, nice and slow. And let that relax. We're going to go ahead and push into that imprint and freeze it. So pull that belly button in nice and tight, back against that mat nice and tight. We're going to start with your left leg first. Bring it straight up above that hip joint. You're going to do a nice small circle right around that hip. So it's going around, pause the top, then switch directions back around again. Pause the top and switch back. So you're trying to keep that circle directly above that hip joint if you can. If you aren't flexible enough, that's perfectly fine. Just try to keep that circle nice and round rather than oval. Again, checking that lower back, make sure you're keeping that back flat against that mat, belly button pulled in nice and tight. If you want to, press that other leg down into the mat really, really tight to give you a little bit more stability. Or just hold it nice and solid. And nice and slow, drop that leg down and do the same thing over on the other side. Bring the opposite leg up. Nice and slow, small circles, out and around, pause the top, then back the opposite direction. Keep that leg completely straight. Contract that quadricep, the front of that thigh, as tightly as you possibly can to keep that leg straight. And then use that hip flexor to pull that leg over top of that hip joint as much as you can. And like I said, try to get that circle right around the top of that hip joint rather than down away from you. Just keep it going. Nice, slow, controlled motions. That circle about 12 inches across or so. And let it relax down nice and slow. We're doing a single leg pulse next. So one leg's going to go out completely straight. The other leg is going to come up nice and straight and tall right above that hip joint. Either grab behind that thigh or behind that calf. And you're going to pulse once, switch legs, pulse once, and switch back. So it's going to be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So exhale as those legs cross. Inhale as you pull a leg in. Once you get that pattern down and you feel comfortable, you've got a little extra range of motion, start speeding up just a little bit. Keep that belly button pulled in nice and tight as you crunch up. And let those legs drop down for just a second. We're going to do that same exact motion again, but this time with a double pulse. So this is our last exercise before we get a little bit of a break. So bring that leg back up again. This time it's going to be pulse twice, switch sides, pulse twice, switch back. So exhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale. Nice slow controlled motions back and forth until you get that timing down. Then if you want to, you can speed it up just a little bit. Try to keep those shoulder blades up, keep those abs contracted. Make sure those legs are having to work to stay as straight as possible.
And let it relax. That timer bailed on us.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a real quick little break here to get some water. We'll be right back in to finish that last half of this. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started with the second half of this routine. Kelly and I have already done it once because I forgot to turn the audio back on. So this will be our second time through this one.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
And believe me, I will be hearing about this for the next few days.
Oh, come on. Get off it.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to be starting off with side leg openers. So go ahead and lay down on your side. Doesn't matter which one. We're going to be switching sides halfway through. So, you want those knees pulled up at a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle on those knees and those hips, nice and slow. Pull that knee open as high as you can and slowly back down. Keep a little bit of a gap, then right back up again. So inhale as that leg comes down, and exhale as that leg goes up. This seems really familiar for some reason.
Yeah, I know, right? It's almost like we just did this. Yeah. You were fired.
I know. All right, so we'll try to keep our whining to a minimum through this.
You're fired and you need to move out.
It hurt the first time. I'm not looking forward to how
at least it wasn't a hit.
That's true. That's true.
We have done that before too, though, where we film a whole hit routine and then there's no audio or something's gone wrong.
All right, go ahead and let it relax. Both those legs out for the harder version. Keep that leg hovering. You're going to turn that toe down towards the other foot. Lead with your heel. Bring it up. Try to keep your hips perpendicular to the ground. No letting them lean forward or lean open. But really, really concentrate on that leg, keeping that leg rotated down to really focus on that glute muscle in a slightly different position than you would normally. So lead with that heel. Inhale as that leg goes down. Exhale as that leg comes up. Don't worry, you're going to have a limited range of motion with your toe pointed down like this. Just go as high as you can without letting that foot open up. Yeah, this is okay. No whining. I said I wasn't gonna whine. Sorry.
Can you do it?
I don't think so. All right, keep it going. All right, keep that foot hovering for the harder version. You're gonna put that foot straight across so that toe's pointing straight in front of you. Nice and slow. Press it up. So exhale as that leg goes up. Inhale as that leg comes back down. Again, keep it hovering for that harder version. If at any point that leg starts to give out on you, you just can't keep it going, feel free to let that foot drop back down and actually touch for a couple of seconds before you start back in. But try to keep that rest period as small as you can handle. Shaking your head at me. I'm being subjected to very mean looks. If Kelly were facing towards the camera, you'd be able to see. But
I would never do that.
she's hiding herself well. All right, again, keep that foot hovering for the harder version. This next one, we're going to do it with the toe pointing straight up towards the ceiling. So again, keep those hips perpendicular to the ground and press that toe straight up towards the ceiling. So you should have the most range of motion with this one. But again, check those hips and make sure you're not starting to rock backwards to lift that leg. You want to keep that those hips sideways and having to do all that rotation through that hip as you raise that leg. Just keep that motion going. Keep those lungs open, keep that belly button pulled in nice and tight, even though those core muscles don't have to really work too hard with this one. Always want them nice and contracted. And let that relax. All right, we're going to switch sides. Do the same thing at the opposite side. So starting back over with those side hip openers. So knees at a 90-degree angle, hip at a 90-degree angle. Open that leg up and out to the side as high as you can. Back down, a little bit of a gap, and right back up again. If you want the slightly easier version, you can do what Kelly's doing by letting her bottom or her feet stay touching together. The harder version is to keep that leg completely hovering so it's actually not touching the ground at all. Just whichever one you want to do. Again, keep those that belly button pulled in nice and tight, those core muscles nice and solid. Keep those lungs open, no holding your breath. 5 seconds left. And let that relax. Both those legs out perfectly straight. Toe pointing down towards that other foot. Again, leading with that heel. Bring that heel up. Keep those hips perpendicular to the ground. Check those core muscles. Make sure you're pulling that belly button in nice and tight. Make sure you're keeping those lungs open. You're not holding your breath. Inhale that leg down. Exhale as that leg comes up. Really rotate that foot over as far as you can. 5 seconds left. Keep them going. That second leg always hurts more than the first one. All right, next round. Again, keep that foot hovering for the harder version. Keep that foot facing straight forward this time. Again, hips perpendicular to the ground. Open that leg up as you inhale. Exhale slowly back down. I'm sorry, I have that backwards. Exhale that leg up. Inhale as it comes back down. Mainly just keep those lungs open, never holding your breath. So if you really want to burn those legs out, I suggest doing this routine twice in a row.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, because the second time through, oh, buddy.
Yeah. All right, last one on this leg.
It's good.
Toe pointing up towards the ceiling.
Definitely. If you have time, do this twice.
Yes. Toe straight up.
You know
nice
that.
and slow back down. Keep a little bit of a hover. Right back up again. Exhale on the way up. Inhale on the way down. Last time we filmed this, Kelly was a lot more jovial, a lot more talkative. This time I think she's just brooding in her anger of having to do this twice.
Planted in my happy place right now.
Just keep it going, about 5 seconds left. Ooh, okay, let that relax.
The only thing that counts is we're getting it done.
Yes, that's right.
That's all
Again. So on those elbows and knees, One leg extended straight out back behind you. You're going to lift that leg straight up. Tight, tight squeeze the top. Back down. Leave a little bit of a gap underneath that toe. Pull it right back up again. So you can either go down on those elbows or up on those hands, whichever is more comfortable to you. Down on those elbows just gives you a little bit extra range of motion. So if you're feeling that hip start to cramp up on you, it's probably already tired from doing those last exercises, but if you're starting to feel it too much, try leaning your weight into the opposite elbow, and that should take a little bit of that tension off of that hip.
5 seconds left.
And let that relax.
Or keep it hovering.
Yeah, keep that leg hovering for the harder version, otherwise sit back in those heels for just a second. You're going to bend that knee to a 90-degree angle, push that toe up towards the ceiling, tuck it underneath, and press it right back up again. Tight, tight squeeze at the top of that range of motion. Nice and slow back down. And right back up again. Keep those lungs open. Keep that belly button pulled in nice and tight. Focusing on every single range of motion, every single repetition, trying to get a full range of motion. Especially focusing on that last few inches, the very top, tight, tight squeeze each time. All right, keep that leg hovering. Don't let it completely relax yet if you want the harder version. Otherwise, sit back into those heels. We're doing pulses on this last one to really burn it out. So knee bend at 90-degree angle again. Short pulses at the very, very top of that range of motion, just like the last 2-3 inches of that very, very top of that range of motion. Squeezing through that glute as hard as you possibly can. Make that glute burn out.
Keep breathing. Take nice, deep, smooth breaths. Go to your happy place. Don't think about it, but if you need to, you can always let your leg rest really quickly. Just shake it out and then jump right back into it.
Mm-hmm. And as you do these, that knee's going to start trying to drop on you. Keep trying to check that you're at the top of that range of motion still.
At this point, your foot is just laying on the ground.
Yeah, doing the top two.
Doing it.
All right, go ahead and let that relax. Sit back in those heels. All right, we're going to do the same thing over on the other side. So back up on those knees and elbows. Opposite leg out. Tight squeeze at the top. Keep that leg fully extended the entire time. Barely tap that toe to the ground. Don't let it completely relax. Right back up again. Keep that leg hovering for that harder version, otherwise sit back in those heels and let it relax for a second. We're going to go to that bent knee next, so bend that knee to 90-degree angle. Press that toe up, tight, tight squeeze the top. Tuck that knee underneath. Keep that belly button pulled in nice and tight. Keep those lungs open. Inhale as you tuck that knee underneath. Exhale as you extend that leg up. Keep focusing on trying to get to that maximum top range of motion to really squeeze that glute. Nice and slow back down. All right, keep that leg hovering one more time. We have one last motion to go through, and that's that pulse. So bring that leg up as high as you can, top of that range of motion, a couple of inches to the very top. Nice quick pulses, just go to that happy place, get it done. Concentrate on your breathing. The best way to ignore the pain is to concentrate on something else. So concentrate on how you're breathing, keeping those lungs open. Concentrate on getting that very, very top of that range of motion, really squeezing up to the very top. And keeping that knee bent to that 90-degree angle. Just keep mentally checking through all these things, and it'll go by so much faster.
Under 10 seconds.
Top of that range of motion, burn it out, squeeze. Ooh, and let it relax. Sit back into those heels for just a second.
Ooh.
And flip it around onto your back. We are doing a bridge next. So heels pulled in as close as is comfortable. Press those hips up as high as you can. Back down, a little bit of a hover, then right back up again. Squeeze it as tight as you can at the top each time. How you doing over there?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Better now that we're almost done?
That's alright. It's a good workout.
That's alright.
Could use it.
Just tight, squeeze the top. When people are doing this, a lot of them have a tendency to try to rock up onto their toes and kind of do a calf raise. Just try to press through those heels only. Alright, for the harder version, we're going to either go back to the using both legs, or if you want to do the harder version, one leg at a time. So, one leg pulled in, the other leg either at a tabletop for a slightly easier version, or full extension for the full hard version. Otherwise, just like Kelly's doing, both feet again. Just focus as hard as you can on getting that maximum full range of motion at the top of that range of motion. Squeeze through that as hard as you can, because the harder you squeeze, the rounder your butt's going to get. So get a tight, tight squeeze every single time. Alright, we're going to switch sides. Same thing on the opposite leg.
So one more before we reach the cool down.
Yes. Alright, again, either both feet or a single leg with a knee bent for the easier version, or full extension for slightly harder. Just go to that happy place. Push through it. Keep that belly button pulled in nice and tight. Simultaneously focusing on getting a nice full range of motion. Squeezing through that glute as tightly as you possibly can. All right, let it relax.
All right.
Okay, let's go ahead and go through a little bit of a stretch cool down. So,
Let's go with the full body stretch.
Kelly was looking forward to this the first time around. I know she's really looking forward to it this time.
I know, I tried to let him to get me to do the full body stretch the whole way through it, but it's a modification, right?
Yeah, right. All right, hands and feet in opposite directions. Really press them out as you arch that back up. Deep breath in. Stretch it. And exhale, let it relax. Again, inhale. Arch that back up. Press those hands and feet in opposite directions. Hold it. And exhale. Let it relax. One more.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Stretch those hands and feet in opposite directions. Inhale, nice and deep. Arch that back up as high as you can. And let it relax. All right. Let's go ahead and do a deep glute stretch. So cross one leg over top of the other. Grab behind that thigh. Pull it in nice and close. You should feel the stretch in the leg that you have crossed over top, kind of down in that hip, down that glute of that leg. Just pull it in as close as comfortable. If it starts to feel like it's loosening up on you, just pull a little bit tighter to keep that stretch consistent. And switch sides. Cross that other leg over top, grab behind that thigh, pull in as close as comfortable. Again, feeling that stretch down in the glute of the leg you have crossed over top. And let that one relax. We're going to do a quadricep stretch next. So grab one foot, kind of pull it up behind you. You can roll to the side if it's more comfortable, or you can kind of lean back on it. Whichever, just don't put all of your weight on it. You want to be kind of rolled off to the side slightly. Just keep pulling in nice and tight. Squeezing that heel to your butt. You should get that stretch across the front of that thigh. And same thing on the other side. Pull that heel in, rock those hips off to the side just a little bit. Squeeze that heel, that butt as close as is comfortable. And let that one relax. Bring both those legs out nice and straight again. Straight up. Grab behind those thighs or behind those calves. Hold them straight. Try to let those hamstrings stretch for just a second. So just nice and slow, kind of pull those shoulders up towards those legs. Should feel it maybe through that lower back, into those glutes possibly, up through that hamstring definitely, and then back that knee and calf possibly. Flex those toes down towards you, get a little extra stretch out of it. And let that relax, hug those knees into your chest. Just let everything relax. You might feel a little bit of a stretch to that lower back on this one, but if not, it's mainly just to let all those muscles completely release. All right, you got any more stretches for us?
Yeah, let's roll over for a cobra stretch.
Okay. Over onto your stomach. Hands down by the base of your rib cage. Nice and slow. Arch that chest up, pressing those palms.
Alright, now lean back. Do a child's pose.
Nice and slow, walk those hands in down towards those knees. Or that shell stretch, so arch that back up really nice and high. Feel like you're trying to pull those shoulders down into your hips, round that back out. And let it relax. All right. That was a great workout. It was a really great workout if you do it twice. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what you thought in the comment sections below.
And let us know what you'd like to see next, too.
Yes, of course, always. We like to hear what you guys are interested in, what you want to see. So other than that, this workout is complete.
Good job, guys.
Thanks, guys.